Okay, what we're talking about today is going to be the next 90-day cycle, but I want you to know that we are embarking on like the thick of momentum season. So I want you to put that mindset on and understand that this is the time where you can swing your points, grow your team so incredibly high. And that high is going to be where you kind of attack the rest of the year from, because it's very normal for some softening to happen in the back half of the year. And it doesn't have to happen to you if you don't want it to. But for being in this business over 5 years, it's the exact same every single year. So I want you to expect that and really work this season, because you're going to be kicking yourself if you don't. And this is not the time to say, I'm too busy, I'm planning all my summer vacations, excuse. This is not the time for that. This is the time to set some serious goals, commit to them, understand when you're working, what you are doing, keep your plan right in front of you, keep your why and your goals right in front of you, and have a clear roadmap to get you there. And I'll talk a little bit about 90 days, but we're going to start with what we need to set our sights on for April. And if setting goals makes you kind of uncomfortable, I want you to know it is completely normal. It makes us kind of nervous to think about things that might be uncertain. Sometimes it's hard to say our goals out loud or write them down because we aren't sure we'll actually hit them. But the thing is, it totally changes your psyche and your mood and your mindset to look towards the future, to dream. Even if it's something you want to accomplish by the end of the week, it completely changes your thought patterns and your activity patterns when you do write down those goals, verbalize them, share them with a group, right? That completely changes your mindset and the actions you take as a result of that. So we are going to set some goals today. And I love this because it's going to give us a clear direction. We've got to know where we are headed, and then we can work together in our Ruby Retreat group and fill in how we're going to get there. But it's just like when you get directions on your phone, like you have to put the destination in first. And that's what we're going to do today. So that you would never get to your destination if you never plugged it in, right? Like directions are impossible if you have no endpoint. So first thing though, I want us to start on a high note. Everybody, if you're able, I want you to type in the chat one thing you are proud of yourself for doing in March, big or small. Maybe it's like you developed a new level 1 silver, or maybe you just showed up and actually posted every day, or maybe you went live for the first time, or whatever that is. I want to hear it. Erica, 3 new ambassadors. That is amazing. Everybody should try to get their 3 or more every month. Talk about that later. Yeah, Corky kept going and added 2. You have been so strong this month, Corky. She's had like obstacle after obstacle and health issues and everything. All the things. Corky is like one of the strongest people I know. Posted about the business all last month. That's right, Terry. I forgot you were doing that. To hop on, unmute yourself for a second. How did that go? Like, did you get people asking about it? Did it start some conversations? Like, talk to me about that.
So it was scary as heck for me because I'm super comfortable about posting about the products. And I post about the business off and on, but I really had to pivot my mindset about who I was marketing the business to. And it's really me and like Corky, like our age, and that we don't want to sit behind a desk and we want to be able to spend time with our grandkids. And really, I sort of had to change who I thought I wanted on my team. So in one way or another, all last month, I posted about the business or added value. So it was like about every other day. And man, some days it was still hard to come up with something. And I didn't really have anybody reach out to me, but I keep picturing that guy who's digging for the diamonds, and the guy who's giving up is only this far away, and the guy who's still digging is this far away. So I'm not ready to say it didn't work, because for sure my engagement has gone up.
Oh,
and
nice. That's
it's not my same audience who is always liking my pictures on Instagram. So that's pretty exciting. I probably added, and you guys that don't have very many followers, this isn't a big deal, but I probably added 30 or 40 new followers on Instagram. So
that's incredible. That's huge.
I have like more than 500. And I think I started in January with 302 or something.
Just incredible.
So I think, it's moving.
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah. And you can see your network changing and engaging more. That's a huge win in and of itself, because I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but even warming up our network to the idea of what message we're sharing is huge, because our inconsistencies or consistencies will deliver a message to our audience. And what do we want that to be, right? What kind of person do we want that to appeal to? And so I'm going to talk about consistency and messaging in just a minute, but that is a very good example of that, like your audience, you've kind of created a space for the right people to see your content, and they're starting to see it and they're starting to engage with it. And you're starting to attract those people. And so they're becoming more and more comfortable with that messaging, right? They're going to start seeing it's more and more exposures now because they're seeing and engaging with that content. So that is awesome. Like,
and I would even say
But if I'm
posting
having a
like that
business meeting, I'm not
has
turning the sound off.
changed for me, that I don't know if I'm better at posting, but the ideas are coming easier.
mhm.
And I feel like it's a little easier to post about the business, when before I was like, I have nothing to say about it. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so that has been kind of a win for me too.
Incredible. Yay. Thank you so much for sharing. Because I think a lot of people get uneasy about that sometimes. And it's just like when we share testimonies, it builds our belief in what the products can do. If you share more about the business, it will build your belief about the opportunity. So I think that's very important. And I think everybody should try that. And that's actually part of our challenge for this week. So I love all these going live for the first time, messenger events. Those sound like they're doing great. Shared your testimony for the first time, shared about the business. Incredible. 500 points. That's huge. I love this. I love this. And I love that you guys see big or small celebrations and things worth sharing and worth finding the good in, because like Terry said, it's very easy to feel like it's not working. You posted twice this week about the 3-day challenge and nobody went in on it, you know what I mean? And it feels like nothing's happening. But for some of those new friends that you made, that might be like the very first time they ever heard you talk about some random 3-day challenge. They have no idea what you're talking about. So it might take the challenge next month and the challenge next month. And then you're going to reach out to them and maybe send them a sample because you've seen them liking some of your posts. And then you're going to ask them about the 3-day challenge and they're going to say, yeah, I've seen you post about that before. I think I'd like to try that. And that's why consistency is so important. So I love, love, love this for March. And now we're going to get started with the nitty gritty. So we celebrated everything. I want you to think, I want you to breathe. We're going to create some really great momentum and accomplishments in this Q2, but you really have to be ready to receive that. You've got to be ready to find your potential. You've got to be ready to receive the success that's going to come your way. But it's not going to fall into your lap. Okay. So I want you to know that for sure. And hopefully all of you have seen the success sprints for Q2, but if not, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what they are, because I'm going to ask you what your goal credits are. So 150 credits, the Celebrity Chef virtual culinary experience. Basically, if you enroll 3, I think with all the bonuses, you get that, which you should be doing like this month. So 400 credits is that ring light. Love my ring light. I would have it on my face right now, but we're going to be moving soon. So I'm packing up stuff. But 600 credits is the Dyson hairdryer. I have one of those. It is incredible for somebody who has thick, long hair. It dries my hair at snap. Highly recommend. 1,200 credits is going to be $500 toward the Wantable shopping experience. I think it's kind of like Stitch Fix. They send you a box of things and you get to choose. Or there's a $350 cash option for that. And then the final prize is 2,500 credits is the iPad Pro, or $750 cash option. And I don't want you to sell yourself short with these prizes. I want you to understand that Q1's momentum pales in comparison to Q2 momentum. It is a whole different ballgame when you get into springtime and you have people with tax money back and they're fired up that it's sunny outside and they want to get back in shape and they're finally ready to not feel like garbage like they felt all winter, and they're ready to finally jump in on your opportunity or jump in with your products. Spring has something very special about it. And so I want you to be ready for that and set your sights really, really high, and know that we have $9.95 enrollment for the entire quarter, which is extremely generous. And you have that $10 or 10% off discount code that's still live. So for every 3 people you enroll per month in Q2, you get a bonus $75 too. That makes Fast Start this month $375. That is humongous. That is somebody's car payment. That's buying their family's groceries for the next couple weeks, or maybe 1 week if you've got a house full of boys or something. But we need to be sharing this with everyone, and that's really good content for talking about the business. A regular silver is going to get about $275 or more, depending on pay points. That's paying somebody's bill. That's taking them on a date night, including childcare. It's paying for extras. It's paying for, part of their kids' extracurricular classes, right? So these are things that we can put into concrete posts to start talking about that more. And anybody else who enrolls 3, so any of us, who've already on silver, it's going to be like that $175, $180. So think about what your family or someone's family on your team could pay for with that. And now that we know what's available, I want you to tell me in the chat what you want to earn in the success sprints and achieve by the end of June. So put your success sprints goal in the chat. I'll give you a second. So 150 credits is the virtual culinary experience, 400 credits, ring light, 600 credits, Dyson hair dryer, 1,200 credits, $500 to Wantable or $350 cash. 2,500 credits is the iPad Pro or $750 cash. Erica, I can help you strategize. I'm going to do a little bit of that today. There is a new second quarter success sprint map of how you earn points. But I think our back offices are still stuck on Q1. So I have it in our team page, but I had a hard time navigating to it myself today. I had to actually go find the one on our team page. All right, iPads. I love the iPads. Dude, the hair dryer, Noelle, I'm telling you, hair dryer's game changer, life changer. Shaves so many minutes off your get ready time. These are so good, you guys. I love to see all of you reaching high, because the worst thing you could do is set yourself up for too low of a goal, because when you start rolling up on that, you unconsciously take your foot off the gas a little, because this was the goal I initially set for myself and it looks like I'm going to get it, so I guess I don't need to really work as hard now. But when you have this big crazy goal and you run for it and prep and plan and do the things now, and really know that the activities you do today, tonight, this afternoon, can change the trajectory of your entire quarter, let alone the rest of the year. It's huge. So I want you to set those really high goals. And now that you kind of have that for your end of quarter goal, not to mention Go Ruby by June and you're coming to Hawaii with us. That's like on top of everything. That's just something we want to do for you guys, because we know how hard you work. We want to reward you. We want to spoil you. We want to do all the things and spend a lot of time with you, pouring into you. And we're really, really excited about that. And that's on top of this, right? So what I want you to do on that piece of paper that I asked you to grab is at the very top. So I want you to write your name and a big blank next to it. So I'm going to write Allie blank like this. Do you see this? Okay. I want you to fill in your goal that you want to have by the end of June. It might be a couple things. It might be Go Ruby and earn the iPad. It might be grow by 200 points and get the hair dryer. Maybe it's just one thing. Maybe you're like, I'm just sprinting for Emerald or whatever, whatever that is. I want you to write that in. Writing mine. Okay. Underneath that, I want you to write a sentence. Heidi's already getting to it. She could use the cash because she's going on vacation. I want you to write what that would mean for you and your family to win that. Or maybe it means something for your mindset. Maybe it means something for you as a leader. Maybe it's a dollar amount you need to take your family on vacation. Maybe it means that you've finally figured out duplication on your team and you feel like you are a better leader now. It's going to show you that you are capable of duplicating. Maybe you're putting extra money towards debt. Maybe that $350 is sending your kids to a camp this summer. I want you to be really, really specific here. writing more money or financial freedom or extra cash is not going to be good enough. Okay, what do you want specifically? What will this achievement do for you? Repeat the statement requirement. Do you mean the top blank, Erica? I want you to put like Erica blank, and you're going to fill in the blank with your goal for
The
June.
next thing, the sentence.
Oh, what it's going to mean for you or your family to achieve what you put in the blank. So is it a dollar amount? Is it raising your leadership lid? Is it creating a solid foundation for your team that's going to offer you, upward momentum in the rest of the year? Is it doing something for your kids? Is it all that kind of stuff? So like, what does that mean? If you really want the iPad, maybe you're like, I've been working this business from my phone for 2 years now, and it's getting real old, and I would like an iPad with a keyboard case. So it's like legit and I can take it and not on my tiny phone, and I can be more successful in my business. But I want you to be really specific on what that is. So you have a really vivid sentence or two that illustrates what that means for you. I would love for anybody, if you're willing, you don't have to, but put it in the chat what that would mean to you, because I'd love to see some of those. And I think they would be really motivational for everybody else to see. Yes, one step closer to quitting my job. I know, like Terry was saying, she doesn't want to be at a desk job. She wants to spend time with her grandkids, right? And maybe making that extra cash every month is like, oh, this is like 1 notch closer, right? Or 2 notches closer, or whatever that can do for you. And guys, my initial why with Plexus, like when I first started, I did not start for the business. I started sharing with everybody because I love the products. I didn't really talk about the business. And I wanted to earn some extra bonuses to pay for flights home to see my family for Christmas when we moved out of state back in 2015. We moved out of Oregon to California. We were off on our own, and we didn't know if we were going to be able to come home for Christmas. And I got it was a bonus system called November to Remember. And you got these cash bonuses. And I was like signing up everyone and their sister over Thanksgiving weekend. And I got something like I want to say like a $1,200 paycheck. That was 2 months in. I got all these bonuses. I signed up everybody I knew, and it paid for 3 plane flights home for Christmas. And that was huge. And oh my gosh, if overcome the doubt of your leadership, that's huge. 1 step closer to building your dream house. It means a lot for leadership sometimes. That's why I mentioned that. Raising your leadership lid, knowing you can duplicate, knowing that you have influence with your team, that you are absolutely capable of doing the things that are necessary to grow your team in a nice foundation where you're not the one spinning your wheels and rolling all the time, right? Yes, a business team instead of a team of customers. You've got business builders. Oh, being short of your goals, no big deal. We all have been short of our goals. I hope you know that. Yes, changing lives sometimes always is more important than us hitting our own goals. You know what I mean? I love this. These are so good. I hope you guys are reading each other's. I hope you're seeing where everybody's at, and we're all working towards a common destination that is allowing us freedom in different areas of our lives, even if it's freedom from head trash, saying that we're not a great leader, saying that we can't do this, that I'm not the right kind of person, I don't have the right people on my team, blah, 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 right? That's a bunch of junk, and it's not true. That you can absolutely do this. Every single person can do this. We have all the tools to teach you how, but we can only control our own actions. You cannot control what your team does. You can control what you do. And so that's why today's chat is going to be so important. And when you feel unmotivated, you can look at this and it will remind you to get into gear. Like when somebody, is thinking, I have nothing to post today, or I don't really want to do those reach outs. I'm not really sure. I'm so busy. All my kids make me so busy, whatever, right? Like I want you to know there are people in this business thriving despite excuses that are so much heavier than anything we could ever imagine. Okay. It's our own, we are the ones in our way. And even when it's hard, I want you to look at this and just write the post or reach out to the girl or follow up or invite the friend, because you know what you really want. You wrote it down and what that will mean for your family. And there's gonna be hard times when messages get ignored and it feels like nobody's listening and you just don't feel like doing it because you feel like you aren't making any progress. I want you to cling to that thing that will get you into action, because in those moments, you're probably on the brink of something really great. Like Terry was talking about earlier, the little guy you see chipping away, and there's like diamonds on the other side of the wall. And don't walk away now. So we must have a mindset focused on the long game. It's the small, seemingly mundane activities done day in and day out that are going to compound over time to create massive results. And we all know this, but there's basically 5 important activities on the front end of this business that we all must be doing to fill our funnels and grow our teams. Post, expand your network, engage, start new conversations, follow up. That's it. And the thing is, these things only take like 30 minutes, right? So if you do these once, twice, maybe you do a power half hour once a week, twice a week, it's going to feel like nothing's happening, right? You'll feel like it's all this effort for just a little reward. But then you have to do this for 30, 60, 90 days. And that's when your consistency compounds and you reach the tipping point and the magic starts to happen in your business, right? Because you might feel like you reached out to this person, you know, one time, and it's the beginning of a conversation. But if you've been posting for 60 days, a consistent message, they've had 60 exposures to it by now. But if you are inconsistent, or if we are all getting caught up in our own excuses, it's just chipping away at our trust with people. And that consistency is what is going to fuel them to believe that we are someone worth trusting, that we are someone worth doing business with. And if we're preaching the same message every day, we show up as the same person every day, people start to look forward to our content, they start wanting to engage with us because we have been engaging with them. People feel and appreciate the value we offer. So when we ask them about Plexus, they are open to it if they haven't already come to us first. So I want us all to realize that every time we quit on ourselves, we're losing ground with everybody around us. We're going to have to gain it back before we can move forward again. So look through your customer's lens for a second. If we can't be consistent in our messaging and relationship building, how in the world is someone supposed to believe that we will be consistent in helping them achieve their lifelong health goals, right? So think about that. And I want you to take a minute, look at the goals that you've written for yourselves, and I want you imagine what it is going to feel like when you accomplish that. And I want you to commit to not giving up on yourself and not giving up on the goals that you've set for your family. And if you're committed to staying the course toward your goals for the next 90 days, I want you to drop a 1 in the comments, in the chat. Put a number 1 if you're committed to the next 90 days. That's what I like to see. Look at that. Isn't it more fun to run together? Everybody's texting me, sorry. So how are we going to do this, right? We're going to focus on what we can control ourselves. Can't control your team, can't control your network, can kind of control your kids sometimes, right? But what we can control is our actions, our discipline, our prioritization, right? So underneath your name and the blank and what that means to you, I want you to write personal enrollments. And then think about how many people you are committed to sponsoring this month based on the goals that you want to achieve. And we'll kind of work backwards in this in a little bit, but just look ahead and give yourself a number, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to see if that measures up to where your goals are going to end you up at. But I just want you to put a goal on there. So I'm going to write personal enrollments, and I'm going to write 6 little lines. So 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these are people's names that I can fill in as I enroll them, right? And now how much money are you going to earn for these people? Your first 3 is $175. Everybody after that is like $32, $33, right? So I have my 6 lines. 3 of them are going to be $175. The other 3, let's just make it $33. So it kind of rounds out to an even, maybe like $275-ish, give or take a couple dollars total. Enroll 6 people, earn $275. What could that do for your family, right? It's easy when we're feeling unmotivated for our brains to tell us like, oh, I didn't really want that, or I'm too far away, or it didn't really mean that much to me. Yes, it did. You right here just wrote it down. You do want it, right? For Fast Start, Kelly, $375 is Fast Start, US for a newbie. So yes, I think that's what you're asking. Now, I want you to think of how many people, level 1s, you want to get to silver. How many silvers do you want to develop the next month? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? And just write silvers, like level 1 silvers. So if like I have the goal of 2 silvers, I'm going to write a column with 3 lines in it for their people's names. And I'm going to write another column with 3 people for the other person's names, right? So I can fill these people's names in. Now these silvers are going to earn either $275 or $375. So you could write that next to your silver labeling at the top, like the silvers, 275 to 375. And this being in front of your face is going to make you remember about Fast Start every time you enroll somebody. So you bet your bottom dollar, I'm going to be telling every single person about Fast Start when I enroll them every time. And of course, some people are going to want it. Most people are going to be, I want to try the products first, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to be kicking themselves when the products work. And 6 months down the line, they go silver and miss Fast Start. I have that happen all the time. But writing this down and understanding this and getting it in front of your face out on paper is going to remind you to speak about it more often. So next thing, write in the chat, how many personal enrollments and how many silvers are you going to do this month? Don't be ashamed. Everybody's at a different place in their business. My personal goals are 6 personal enrollments and 2 silvers, 2 level 1 silvers. Not your entire team, just you. And you're going to put this paper. I love that, Noah. 6 enrollments, 1 silver. Perfect. You're going to put this paper where you can see it. 3 enrollments, 1 silver. Awesome. I'm making you type these on purpose, by the way. I want your body to physically write it down. 6 enrollments, 2 silvers, 3 personal enrollments, 2 silvers. Did I miss somebody? 4 personal, 2 silvers. This is awesome. And put it, you're going to put these personal goals wherever you need to see them, right? You can have a sticky note on your computer. You can have it at the front of your planner. You can stick it in your closet. You can stick it on your mirror. If you have a larger team now, I want you to write down the names of your leaders. I like using other colors. Like, let's see, I'll write Erica. Erica. And I'm going to write Erica's goals, right? So I'm going to find out her goals and write, she says 6 enrollments. So I'm going to put 6 lines under her and 3 silvers. So I'm going to be able to fill those in. So I have Erica's 6 enrollments, and now I'm going to make 3 sections of 3 lines each. So 9 lines total with her 3 silvers, right? And you can do that for every leader. Maybe you have somebody who went silver last month and you want to get them to senior silver, right? This is the opportunity for you to check in with your team. Ask them if they've seen the success sprints, the bonuses, the new deals, ask what their goals are and see how you can support them. The worst thing you can do is come up with goals for other people and tell them what their goals are and then ask them how they're going to do it. That's pretty much the worst thing you can do. Your team would want to just run from you, right? Allow people to decide their own goals, decide their comfort level. I mean, you can inspire them by providing them information about upcoming rank bonuses or whatever enrollment bonuses. That's just fine. But if you're thinking, I want to go Ruby, I need Noelle to sponsor 9 people. Noelle, I need you to get 9 this month. How are you going to do it? Right? That's not the way to do it. Okay. You need to help people find their own goals and find something that means something to them and then assist them in that way. So you'll have this sheet to show how you're doing, keep you going on the right path. And it's way more fun when you know where you're going. You feel like you're not aimless and it's easier to stay on track. And once you've checked in with your leaders and gotten their goals, what you can do now is look at all those blanks, right? So you've got all your goals, your personal enrollments, your silvers, your leaders' personal enrollments, their silvers. I would even go so far to say if they have leaders that they're working to get to senior silver or gold or whatever, write all those down. How many enrollments do those people need, right? You can count up how many enrollments that's going to give you this month. Say you're going from senior gold to Ruby by June. That's a 250 point jump. And basically 50 people. There'll be some attrition. So let's say 60 people have a buffer. You have 3 months to do this, right? So a third of that 60 is 20. Okay. Take that 20 enrollment goal and make sure you've got 20 enrollment blanks on your sheet this month to fill in, to put you on track for June. If you don't, then I want you to make like another section that has the extra lines and put a question mark above it. And I'm going to tell you how to get those people in just a second. But throughout the month, you're going to be coming up short maybe, or maybe you're overshooting it in some areas. And this will drive you to be a problem solver. And maybe one of your people for silver is like totally flaky and not following any directions. And she just like leaves for the weekend and never talks to you, right? But another one is like totally rocking it. And you're going to work with her to go senior silver instead, which is actually going silver like more than 3 times because it's 10 enrollments. So I want you to kind of think of it that way too. Like you've got this total rock star over here, but you're thinking, oh, I got like 3 people silver, but like this one's totally dropping the ball. Then think about, oh, this girl's just killing it. Like I'm just going to really, really work with her because she's got a really receptive network and she's really coachable. And it might be the last week of the month and you feel like you're a little behind. But say you get 1 more enrollment and you're like, sweet, I still need like a few to hit my goals. And you know that because you've been looking at the sheet, right? Then you're going to be provoked to ask them if they are opening to have an online event to make sure they're using their samples, or if they know a husband, a sister, a neighbor, a babysitter, you know, that might want to do this with them. And those words maybe never would have come out of your mouth in the last week of the month if you didn't have a goal in front of you, right? And then they have an online event and all of a sudden they enroll 6 people in 48 hours. And all of a sudden you're so close and you can run to achieve your goals right at the end of the month, right? These kind of things happen all the time. But you would have no idea where you're going without a roadmap. You wouldn't know how close or how far away you even are. And if you don't have any leaders, that's just fine. Just count your personal enrollments and silvers. And if you're still short of your goals, I want you to have that area with the question mark above it. And you now know that you need to find these extra onesie twosies, that's what I call them, throughout the month. And maybe it's a level 2 or 3's husband or sister, or maybe one of your silvers like enrolls 5 or 6, or maybe a really long time ambassador that loves her products, wants to have an online event and signs a couple people, right? These goals help you stay in action. And every day you're going to be posting on your feed and your stories. You're going to be doing Facebook Lives. You're going to be asking everybody if they want to have online events. You're going to be asking every newbie to use their samples and keeping your leaders on track because they communicated their goals to you. And you're also going to be giving your existing team outstanding customer service because you know you want to help those people achieve their goals and stay with you on your team and not quit. And it's okay if you don't know how you're going to get these numbers on paper. You just need to know that you are going to get it. Because if you're in activity every single day, you'll start to fill those lines, you'll start gaining momentum, and your consistency and energy is going to start to compound and big things will happen. You have all these enrollments and silvers and leaders rank ups. After today or after you complete this, even if you need to go back and look at your leaders or something, I want you to tally up where those credits would put you in success sprints. So that's going to give you kind of a snapshot of where you might be at the end of the month, not even counting retention credits from the people you enrolled last month. So level 1s and 2s are 10 credits. Level 3s and 4s are 5 credits. A level 1 or 2 going silver or any rank up is 25 credits. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is re-ranking 20 credits if you re-rank, I think. I might be wrong, but it's on my team page. I'm sure it's on like the Rise page. It's probably on everybody's team pages. We can help you, but that's going to give you like a super low estimate because it's not even counting retention credits, and it's also not counting your PV, depending on where your PV is, your subscription. So I know numbers can be like super scary for some people, but please, please, please take it from me. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And we need to have a vision for where we're headed. And sure, like a 1, 5, 10-year vision is awesome, like where this opportunity can take your family 5 years in the future. But we need a closer vision that's going to keep us working today and tomorrow. And, you know, rank to Ruby by June and go to Hawaii, right? Like that's huge and tremendous motivation. And without a plan, though, you're not really going to get there. You can wing it and be inconsistent, and it might get you to silver or senior silver and like maybe gold if you've got a good network that you've been pouring into for years, but not much further than that. It's going to be it's going to be the time that you need to treat your business like a real business owner would. Show up daily. And I get stuck in a funk every now and then too, you know, like I can get in kind of this feeling like, oh, I worked so hard the last few days. I just need to like sit back today. And I got to like kick myself sometimes. Like I am wasting my precious time when I could be building and working towards achieving these huge goals for me and my family. Because this opportunity has the potential to give you huge freedoms that probably you never even dreamed were a possibility for your family. That is what personally has happened to me. I know that's what's happened to a lot of my friends in this business, but it's not going to fall into your lap, like I said earlier. So I want you to think about how much time each day you're going to intentionally work your business. That filling your funnel and enrollment activity that we do in a lot of Power Half Hours, again, that literally only takes 30 minutes or less. I know some people batch work on certain days, but look at that. Look at your schedule for the month. When are you going to fit it in? It's going to be hard to just wing it much longer, right? And winging it honestly causes a lot of stress, because then you're trying to multitask all the time, and you're not really giving 100% in any area because you're spread so thin across everything. But if we would have just set aside, okay, on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours after the kids go to bed, I'm going to prep all my posts for the week and I'm going to do all my IPAs on those nights. And hubby knows it and kids know it, or maybe hubby does bedtime on those nights or whatever, right? And you knock it out of the park and you get it all done. The rest of the time you can relax and you're not stressed that you're trying to do it all for everybody and also run a business, right? I won't get into time blocking today, but I am like huge on time blocking. Okay, we're done. Sorry, I went a little bit over. Now the real work begins. But if anything needed further explanation, please let me know. You can either put it in the chat or put it in our message thread if you would like to. Your tasks for this week, first of all, is going to be to create your April business plan that we just outlined. Then I want you to commit to posting on social media every single day, at least once, Plexus or personal, either one or both if you are posting twice daily, which I do most of the time. 2 of your posts need to be about the business opportunity, fast start, or something related to finances. We need to be talking about that more, and we need to be talking about that more often and more intentionally. And I also want you to grow your network by 5 people. That's 1 person a day, which is like nothing, or just go do it right now, right? I'll put a graphic of these things and drop them in our messenger thread so that you can reference them and ask questions throughout the time. But if you want to drop your April plans in the chat, I think that would really motivate some people and give them some ideas. You don't have to, it's just something you do if you want. And it's nice to see other people with similar goals. So does anybody have anything that I didn't cover as thoroughly as you would have liked? Hopefully this was helpful. This gives you a direction and you're fired up even just thinking about the goals you want to accomplish in June, right? Even just thinking about the people you want to help go silver, right? It changes your mindset and changes your activity. So I want you to see that and feel that, because it really does. All right, I'll let you go, guys. Thanks for hopping on. Ask any questions in the chat later if you need. Okay, bye.